My name is Theodore Finlad, and for the past 7 months or so, I've been learning how to play the piano. So my inspiration for why I wanted to learn the piano was basically that I have no musical talent at all. And I used to be able to play instruments, but that was a long time ago, and I've kind of forgotten everything about it. Also, I have members in my family that are pretty good at playing piano. I've always been kind of jealous that they've been able to play and I haven't. And we have a piano at home that kind of just sits around and doesn't get played that often, so I wanted to be able to put that to use. And also, it's just something that I've always really wanted to learn. I don't know, a long time ago, I would just kind of sit at home and watch YouTube videos of people doing piano covers of popular songs, and I had this toy roll-out piano that I would play and try to copy other songs, but I never really knew how to play for real. So today, I'm going to be treating you to my project plan, so what really got approved in the first place and what I was supposed to do, what I wanted to learn through this project, my distribution of hours. I'm going to talk about my mentor a little bit. I'm going to talk about a problem that I faced and the solution I came up with. A day in the life of my project, a final product, new skills and how I grew during this project, changes I would make if I had to do it all again, and then of course I have some special thank yous at the very end. So my project plan, my main goal is obviously to learn how to play the piano. And with this came everything that comes with learning the piano, like all the components. I wanted to learn how to read sheet music. I used to be able to read sheet music for saxophone back in like 6th grade, but I've forgotten all about it and I've never known how to read it for piano, so that's something that I wanted to learn. And then also I wanted to learn how to play different scales and different songs, specifically piano covers of popular songs, so things like Coldplay and things like that, you know, the typical things that people want to cover. Unfortunately, I never really got around to that, but it's still something that I can do in the future, and it's something that I've kind of set as a goal for myself. And then I also wanted to play in front of an audience, because I've never really played anything on stage by myself. Back when I was in band in 6th or 7th grade, I would play in front of audiences with the entire band, but I've never really done it by myself, so I thought that would be something cool that I could learn and to go through that would help me grow as a person. So what I wanted to learn, as opposed to what I wanted to do for my project, was, the first thing was that I wanted to learn patience. Like, I wanted to become more patient. I needed to realize that I can't do everything in one day, and I had to realize that something I want to learn is going to take a long time, and I can't do it all really quickly. It's got to be a long-term process for it to be perfect. And hand in hand with that comes persistence. I'm pretty easily frustrated, and it's very easy for me to just throw things away and give up if I don't get it right away or I don't understand it. But I wanted to kind of get through that and be able to push through something that I knew was going to benefit me in the end. And it's also a good cure for senioritis, because senioritis, you pretty much want to give up and not do anything, but it's something that kind of helped me push through everything and get my work done, kind of motivation for me. And then confidence was one of the other things, like I said, to perform on stage, which is something I've never done by myself. And it would also help realize that it's okay to make mistakes in front of other people and not be afraid that people judge you and things like that. And again, to become more musically talented and get more artistic ability and things like that. So for my distribution of hours, in the end I ended up having about 65 hours for my entire project, and they were split into lessons, practice, and what we're going to call other. Lessons took up about 21 hours of my project, and what that consisted of is going down to Redmond to the 4-4 School of Music, where I would have one-on-one lessons for an hour with my mentor Kate, and who I'm going to talk about a little bit later. But we would learn new songs and talk about theory and dynamics and things like that. Pretty much the thing an hour between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. with my mentor Kate. And what we would do is we would sit down and we'd review the songs that she assigned for last week, and we'd go over them, and she would make key changes or things that I could do better, and we would perfect them. And then we would talk about theory. Like my book, the Adult All-in-One course, had all these theory pages that you could do where you fill in notes or you fill in the names of notes and things like that, just to kind of help you memorize and learn everything about the piano, like all the dynamics and things like that. And then she would assign new songs, which we would practice for a little bit towards the end of class, because we would mainly work on perfecting the songs in class. And then we would learn those. Those would be the ones that she assigned for next week, and then we'd come back the next week and repeat the process. And she would take notes on these things called student sheets, where she would write down notes for the entire lesson and talk about the things that I did and the things that I learned, what I could do better on, and then key notes and things like that on the back, like maybe a scale or things to help me remember flats and sharps and things like that. And then I would go home and practice at home on the piano for about a week, and then I'd come back the next Monday and we'd do it all again. So my final product, I played 2 songs at EHS Unplugged, which is an acoustic event set up by the student body. And the 2 songs I played were O Sole Mio and Somewhere Over the Rainbow, which are pretty common names in the piano world, I guess. But I was really, really nervous before I went up on, before I went up on stage, I really wasn't that nervous. I was being kind of cocky about it, and I thought I was going to do great. But then once I actually sat down and I saw all the people out in the audience, I kind of started to get really nervous. I thought I was going to forget everything, because I didn't bring my sheet music, because I thought I had it all memorized. And so I thought I was going to forget all the notes, but it ended up being fine, and I don't really regret not bringing it, because my teacher said that if I didn't bring the sheet music, then I would be able to put more emotion into my playing, which I guess kind of worked, but it was still really scary once I got out there, because I was the very first person in the lineup, so everyone that was going to perform and all the parents and friends that were going to watch all the other perform were there, so I had the biggest audience of the night, but it worked out fine. I kind of got over it once I started playing. I didn't really look at them too much, but I was really hot and I got really nervous. But I have a video of my final presentation that I'd like you to watch real quick. Sheet music, but I feel like it worked out fine anyway. So, that was one of the problems I faced, not being able to remember the music at some points in my song. But the biggest problems I really faced was in the very beginning when I was trying to find a mentor. Because I got my project approved over the summer, and I thought I'd found a mentor, and I was emailing her and trying to set up times and things for my for my lessons. But then I got really lazy and I started procrastinating, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to enjoy my summer. And I didn't email her back. Then towards the end of the summer, like 2.5 months later, I emailed her and she didn't email me back, so I thought she was mad at me, and then I had to find a new mentor and set up new lessons, but luckily my parents kind of helped me find a new mentor and set everything up, so I let them. And then, yeah, I really should have started in the summer. But my final performance was another problem that I faced, because the school where I took the lessons set up concerts for their students every 3 months or so, and the last one they had was the one I signed up for, which is in March, I think, and I was going to do that for my final performance, but then that ended up being canceled, which was just really bad luck. So then I emailed Ms. Nasby asking if I could change my final product, which I couldn't. So I ended up just doing Eastlake Unplugged instead, which is something she recommended. So I'm kind of glad they helped me through that to fix those problems. What I've learned and the new skills that I've gotten from this project, obviously I have more musical talent and artistic abilities from being able to learn, or being able to play the piano, and being able to play an instrument at all. And I've also learned a lot about patience and persistence and perseverance, to just stick with it, and even if it takes a long time, just kind of go with it and don't give up. And then confidence and getting over my stage fright was another big one, because I've never really performed on stage by myself, and it really helped, because I'm not really afraid of people judging me anymore. It's okay to make mistakes even in front of a lot of other people. And of course I've learned everything that came with learning the piano. But if someone asked me if I was going to continue to take piano lessons, I'd probably say no. But I might still play in the future, but just for fun. I don't think taking lessons is something that I'd want to do again. But it was fun doing the entire project. So if I had to start over, of course, the main things were to start early and do not procrastinate. I know if you've seen these presentations before, that's what they tell you every single year, but it is true, because once you start, you kind of get lazy and you feel like, oh, I have 9 months to do all this, I'll be fine. But then you start getting stressed, because senior year isn't as easy as it sounds, and you have a lot of work to do, and this really does take up a lot of time, and that's something I would do if I had to start over, because I really regret that. So I'd like to thank my panel, Mr. Agnew and Ms. Williams, for approving all my work logs and guiding me through this project and letting me, and due dates and things like that. My homerooms teacher, Ms. Fisher, for going over my project with me and kind of helping me to perfect this presentation and everything she's done. My senior English teacher, Mr. Miko, for helping me on all my deliverables and other things. My mentor, Kate Barrett, for guiding me through the entire thing, of course. My parents and family for supporting me and not giving up when I spent countless hours playing horrible piano music in the living room. My friends for supporting me and helping me, especially the ones that know how to play piano and help me with my practice. Any outside support, so anyone who let me play their piano at their house, even if it was horrible. the EHS student body for setting up Unplugged, so I had a final presentation, and then, of course, you guys, the audience, for listening. I guess at this point I'll take questions, but that's it.
Does anyone have any questions? Not easy.
Guess I went over it all.
You must have. Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Thank you.
And